Hey, what's up? Back for week 9 Ultimate Fighter Season 17 video blog. Just got back from training. I'm a little tired right now. We had Tom Lawler down there training for his fight in Sweden. Matt the Immortal Brown came by. He's training for a fight as well. All the guys from South Shore Sports Fighting, Lowe's and RMA, and guys from Triumph came down. It was a huge crew in there today, so a lot of good work going on. So on to the episode. Spoiler alert, Bubba McDaniel cries on the Ultimate Fighter. Also this week on The Ultimate Fighter, Josh Salmon and Uriah Hall play a game of hide-and-go-seek, with Josh Salmon volunteering to hide first and telling Uriah he has to count to potato before he finds him. And the main focus of this episode pretty much was that wild card fight, and it was kind of a lackluster fight in a way. You kind of didn't get to see everything you're expecting. I personally would have liked to see Zach get that wild card. A lot of people are saying Clint and Zach were the two more deserving. I'm not really going to comment on who was more deserving because, Bubba's put a lot of time into the sport, and Kevin, he's done a lot as well through the jiu-jitsu circuit and everything. So who is more deserving is not really my call, but personally I would have liked to see Clint and Zach as the better guys in the competition. But, I'm not complaining that Clint did not get back in the competition because he's a pretty rugged dude. The fight itself, was a little bit boring at times, but the first round came out and Kevin really did his thing. He kind of established his game plan, wearing Bubba down, get him in controlling positions, and he didn't land a lot of shots, very similar to my fight. A lot of people were saying he didn't land a lot of shots, but sometimes with us grapplers, the goal is for that first round or so, just really dominate position, wear guys down, and take advantage of guys later on in the fight. Second round happened, and Bubba came out with just a surge of new energy, and he was just too much for Kevin. And I think what happened there was that second round, Kevin just laid in his guard and Bubba just hammered him to the body with shots, and it was kind of hard to watch him. We're yelling like, oh, just open your guard, get up to your feet, do something, but don't just sit in your guard and get punched in the body. And I think, if there was some kind of kidney issue going on for Kevin before that laying on his back and getting punched over and over and over again in the body definitely didn't help that condition whatsoever. As far as the whole incident with Kevin getting off the stool, that's one a lot of people have been asking about and questioning what happened there. It's tough because I never like to judge anyone, because unless you're physically the one in that cage, there's so many emotions that people that have never stepped in the cage would never understand. When you're in there, it's a whole different world. And for me, as a fan watching that fight, it's hard for me to judge and say Kevin should have got off that stool. It's easy to say, I do feel like, get off the stool, get TKO'd. If you're exhausted, go out there and just do something, tap, turtle up, just get off the stool. But you can't really say that because you're not the one in that situation. Kevin knew how his body felt, and at the end of the day, you can't really judge him for making a decision for his own health. He's not really willing to put his life on the line for fighting, which when it comes down to it, people say like victory or die and all this stuff, but your health and your well-being is the most important thing, so can't really say too much about Kevin's decision. The last thing that happened on the episode pretty much was those quarterfinal matchups. We all went in and said who we wanted, and Josh was someone that I wanted to fight. We had a little bit of that banter back in the house, and Josh really was gunning for me. And in the competition, I was honestly like, I'll fight anyone. I'm literally here just to get some experience in the fight game and test myself against some of these other opponents. And when Josh said he wanted to fight me, I'm like, that sounds good. I'm here to fight everyone. So I was going in intentionally, or thinking that I was going to ask for Josh. But Uriah really wanted that fight with Josh. So with Uriah gunning so hard for the fight, I basically went in and said, I'll take Bubba. He was the only one not spoken for at that point. So the matchups, it was kind of like me and Bubba asked for each other, then Dylan and Luke asked for each other. And for whatever reason, they mixed them up. And Luke got Dylan the one they wanted. Then Colin and Kelvin got each other. And then me and Josh were named to fight each other. And the weird one was Bubba and Uriah, because neither one of them had spoken about fighting each other. And for whatever reason, they were matched together. So that was an interesting pick, and you're gonna have to wait 2 weeks to see that fight. But next week will be Luke Barnett and Dylan Andrews, which is a really, really exciting fight. The style matchup is great. Luke's a dangerous strike on his feet. He's got long limbs, elbows, and then Dylan, kind of a little bit of a dark horse. He came in and has great striking, a little underestimated by everyone. He was the overall last pick, so that's a fight that I was even really looking forward to beforehand. When they named that matchup, that was one that were like, that's going to be a good one. and then Kelvin Gastelum versus Colin Hart, which that in itself is a very interesting fight too, because it's two kind of wrestling based fighters, and it's one that's going to come down to, you know, someone's going to get the advantage early on. You're going to know who the victor is. That's kind of how I was thinking going in, is someone's going to be the better wrestler, and whoever establishes that first, it's going to be pretty clear, I think, who's going to end up winning that fight. So two very, very exciting matchups going into the fight. So I'm really excited for next week and getting to watch those fights again. And lastly, as always, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Civation.com, SmartPowders.com, for all my supplements and things like that. And then Kunetics for my fight gear. Kyle Holland, Mike Boyle's Strength and Conditioning has been helping me a lot with my strength and conditioning lately. And then all the guys at Lowe's on MMA, Mask BJJ, and Triumph MMA that have been training hard with me and keeping me on point. You can find me on Facebook. Jimmy Crash Quinlan is my fan page. JQ Crash 25 on Reddit, and Jimmy Crash BJJ on Twitter. And I'm pretty good about responding back to most people, and you know, sometimes I get a little overloaded. I don't want to spam the Twitter feed, but pretty good about getting back to people. So if you get any questions or, you know, just want to say what's up, I'll always respond back to people on there. Thanks for watching the video blog, and you know, tune into The Ultimate Fighter next Tuesday. It's going to be a couple of awesome fights, so make sure you don't miss it.